Hello, my name is Dendi Nando. Here I will explain about innate immunity, and my partner Yoel will take a part in adaptive immunity. So first we must know what is native immunity. Native immunity is the early line of defense in our body mediated by cell and molecule that are always present in our body and ready to eliminate infectious bacteria, or we can call antigen. So the first defense mechanism in innate immune system is it's block the microbial invasion through epithelial barrier. So the epithel is the first barrier in our body to preventing microbial invasion. After that, if the microbial pass the barrier and start to enter our body, innate immune system will use the component to controlling and eradicating and destroy the microbes. So the characteristic of immune system are always present in our body in every organism. So in each organism, innate immune system is available, and innate immune system is ready to recognize every microbe that entered our body and ready to eliminate it and ready to destroy the dead cells. So it has a function as a cleaner from dead cell has been infected by antigen. The most important that we must remember in innate immunity is innate immunity can work collaborated with adaptive immunity, because innate immunity can instruct the adaptive immunity to respond if innate immunity cannot defeat the antigen that entered in our body. Early innate immune response to microbes is derived into two types. They are inflammation and antiviral mechanisms. If inflammation happened, innate immunity works by accumulated and activated leukocyte, protein plasma, and other components in infection tissues. Meanwhile, for antiviral defense, it's dominated by natural killer cell. Natural killer cell will kill cell that has been infected, and cytokinin, and we can call it interferon, will block the replication in antigen. So they work together. Native immune or innate immune has a general feature and specificity. There are two kinds of specificity of native immune. PAMs indicate that they are present in infectious agent and shared by microbe of the same type. And DAMPs, DAMPs, it's a molecule that are released from damaged or necrotic host cell and recognized by innate immune. The receptor of the innate immune are encoded by inherited genes that are identical in all cells. So that's why native immune or innate immune can recognize same microbes. So in this section, I will explain about component in native immune system. There are a lot of components in native immune system. They are epithelial barrier, phagocyte, neutrophil, macrophage, dendritic cell, and others. And I will explain it one by one. First is epithelial barriers. Epithelial barrier has a function give a physical protection made by keratin in our skin. Even internal organ like gastrointestinal, the role is took by mucus. And also epithelial cell produce defensin and cathelicidin that are peptide antibiotic, has a function to kill antigen when the microbial want to bind on epithelial surface. And second component is phagocyte. Phagocyte derived into two types. They are neutrophil and monocyte. By circulating in our blood. So the neutrophil is dominated by leukocyte in our blood, and it's produced by bone marrow and stimulated by cytokine. So the neutrophil is the first cell type to respond the most infection by bacterial and fungal. And monocyte or macrophage has a function as a effector phase of the cell, and it has a ability to detect microbial invasion. During inflammatory reaction, monocyte enter extravascular tissues and differentiate into cell called macrophage. And there is a dendritic cell. It has two main functions as a initiate inflammatory, and it can initiate of T cell response, and it can stimulate adaptive immune response by sensing microbe and interacting with lymphocyte, especially T cell. There is a cell mass 2 produced by bone marrow. It helps defend against pathogen and are involved in wound, and it can recruit other leukocytes to kill antigen. Mast cell is activated by a trigger. It has a granule release many histamine that mediate reaction lead to symptoms. And last is innate lymphoid cell or ILCS. It's a lymphocyte like a cell that produces cytokine and perform functions similar to those of T lymphocyte, but it didn't express T cell antigen receptor. After we know about component in innate immunity, so I will explain about the step how the way innate immunity works. First step is antigen recognize. Antigen recognized by APC. What is APC? APC is antigen presenting cell, especially dendritic cell and lymphocyte. So APC will capture the antigen and bring it to lymphocyte. Lymphocyte in here divided into two types. They are B lymphocyte and T lymphocyte. B lymphocyte has a function to produce antibody, and T lymphocyte has a responsibility to recognize fragment peptide antigen in molecule complex histocompatibility. After antigen recognizing, B and T lymphocyte is activated. B lymphocyte will produce antibody, and T lymphocyte will be eliminate antigen. After that, apoptosis will be happen because contraction or hemostasis, and B and T lymphocyte become cell memory. So cell memory will remember the antigen that ever attacked before.
Hello, my name is Yoel, and today I want to explain about adaptive human system. So, what is adaptive immune system? The adaptive immune system, also referred as the acquired immune system, is a subsystem of the immune system that is composed of specialized systemic cell and process. What is the function of adaptive immune system? The major function of acquired immune system is 1. Recognizing a specific non-cell antigen in the presence of cells during the process of antigen presentation. 2. Generation of response that are tailored to maximally eliminate specific pathogen or pathogen-infected cell. 3. Development of immunology memory in which pathogens are remembered through memory B cell and memory T cell. In humans, it takes 4 until 7 days for the adaptive immune system to mount a significant response. The defense and mechanism of adaptive immunity include 1. Cell-mediated immunity mediated by T lymphocytes against intracellular pathogen, and 2. Humoral immunity mediated by B lymphocytes against extracellular pathogen and toxins. Maybe you can watch this video before.
It's a big concern. A vaccine is only effective if people take it. And I understand that people have concerns. I've heard people sort of, ask certain things like, well, what about this? What about that? The important thing is look, there's a small core of people who are going to be opposed to vaccines no matter what we do, no matter what we say. But there's a larger segment of the population that is, as you said, vaccine hesitant. They're not opposed to vaccines, but they have questions, they have doubts. And I think we just need to address them. So when people say things like, oh, they're rushing development, they haven't tested this in animals first. And the answer is, well, no, they have. There have been tests on animals, absolutely. And then people will say, well, there haven't been enough safety trials. Like, well, there have. I mean, they're still doing the same degree of safety trials that they would do for any other vaccine. They're just shortening the time between the various phases because they're making sure funding is in place so that people don't waste time doing the bureaucratic stuff. So if we can address people's concerns one by one, I think we're going to go a long way to helping people understand, it's like, no, this is going to be safe. And of course, there is a benefit. Thousands of people have died from COVID-19. So even if you yourself think you're going to be okay, that you're young and healthy, maybe you don't need it, you should get vaccinated for the same reason that I get the flu vaccine every year. I do it not so much to protect myself, but to protect my patients, many of whom are sick, older, vulnerable patients who might die from this. So we have to think of it that way. And then again, address people's concerns one at a time and show them like, no, there's really nothing to fear here. And when we get a vaccine, show them like, look, it does work, it does help. And this is something that we all have to do just to protect society.
Is there an established figure, Dr. Labos? I mean, what threshold do we have to get? What percentage of the population do we have to have vaccinated for it to be effective?
So it varies disease to disease. It depends how infectious the disease is. For something like measles, it's over 90%. For other diseases, it's in the 80%. So it's certainly above 70%. Where it is exactly, we don't really know. As we get more data on this virus, we'll find out. But it has to be the vast majority of the population for us to develop a herd immunity.
The video is explained about the development of COVID-19 vaccine. The COVID-19 vaccine is one example of adaptive immune system because the COVID-19 vaccine is get from the environment or outside the body, so the body don't produce the antibody of COVID-19. Maybe only there I can explain about adaptive immune system. Thank you for your attention.